Hi guys, good morning, good evening, based on where you are. Very happy morning and happy evening to all of you. Yes, it's indeed a pleasure. Back to back, I'm going online nowadays. And in this particular session, we are going to completely focus on the practical aspect of how one can provision a CI and CD pipeline using Azure DevOps. Yes, I'll be performing all the steps. No theory, no explanation, straight to the point, no confusion, no drama, nothing. Directly start performing steps. And good thing is we are going to do everything from ground up, from start to finish. You will see the entire demo where you will see a CI and CD pipeline is going to deploy the application into Azure App Service. So whether it is infrastructure in app service or whether it is configuration of your DevOps CI/CD pipeline or any dependencies, everything is going to happen exactly in front of you. So it is going to be from basic to advanced. It's not like we are covering only the basic or we are taking shortcuts. Nothing. Everything will be from ground up in front of you, as I said. So yes, I just created one empty folder. Nothing is there in this folder. It's blank. Just for my demo, I created DevOps demo folder. Now in this DevOps demo folder, I would like to create a new solution, which I want to name it as Hello World App. You can give actually any other name based on the requirement. I'm not doing anything concrete, so I've given a very basic name, Hello World App. I think there are some issues. Let me check. Microphone issues, some kind of microphone issues. So maybe I get the mic little closer to me. I would request all of you on YouTube to please confirm that you're able to hear me clearly and also see my screen very clearly without any problem. Please confirm. Pretty well. Great. Thank you. So yes, I just create a empty solution. Basically, I'm doing a .NET project, a simple .NET project I'm creating here. So you see, I have a folder now by name Hello World App created. In this, we'll have a SLN file created, Hello World App.sln. Now it is here only. I would like to create a new project, let's say .NET MVC project, and I want to name it as Hello World App.web. Fantastic. So we have a project created, but this project is independent of the solution. The solution is not referring to the project. So I would like to add here .NET SLN add Hello World App .web slash hello world app.web.cs proj. So the project is now added to the solution and we are good. You can simply say .NET build to test the project locally. There shouldn't be any errors by default. It's performing the build step. Fantastic. Now you can actually do .NET or first go to the hello world app.web and do a simple .NET run. We are going to get some URL and that URL I would like to open in the browser and see that it's all functional. The project is providing some kind of output on the screen. So I'm just waiting for some prompt to come there. Cool. And this is the URL. Copy this paste it in the browser, and we should get the default page. Fantastic. I'm not so keen about elaborating the content. Just Control C, break it, and we are good. What's next? Now that we have the project, we would like to add this project to a Git repository. I would be doing everything in DevOps. So I would like to add this to Azure DevOps Repo. So first thing you'll have to do is go to the browser, go to dev.azure.com, start free, log in with an ID. I have already created my account here, so I'm taking this shortcut step. Now, the important thing is, if you are starting with Azure DevOps for the first time, to create a project, you'll need an organization. So here you see Sandeepsoni is the name of the organization which is already created. Now, if you are creating a new organization, in the new organization, there is a very good possibility that, for example, now I'm trying to create a new organization, some random name, choose the country, I am from India. This is the most challenging thing I always find. Hopefully correct. No. YOYPYPYKNP. So I am now having a project. I'll call it as same Hello World app. Create a project. Quality of video is poor, but I don't do anything that it's poor or good. Should be your net connection, if I'm not wrong. So I have a basic project created, Hello World app. And in this, I go to the repo and I use these commands. I copy them, and before I do anything here, let's say git init, rather, let me do one thing. I created wrongly the git folder. Actually, when we do git init, it creates a .git folder. I by mistake created in subdirectory, so I deleted that. Now I go back to the parent directory, do git init from Hello World app, git. Before I do anything, I would like to add to my project using VS Code a .gitignore file. I would like to ignore here bin obj VS Code, when .vs code .vs, some folders which I'm not interested. So I'm ignoring these folders. Now do git add cool git commit, first commit. Now type git status. I'm on the master branch, everything is committed. Now git push. But before I do git push, I'm supposed to connect my local to the remote. I'll use this. Git remote add origin and done. It will ask me to log in if I'm not logged in before. My personal account. Good. I'm in. And by now, you should see here if I refresh, we should have the project. Fantastic. So I completed two steps. I created the project locally. I have these steps: create the project locally, executed and tested, created a DevOps project, and pushed the DevOps project, pushed the local project to DevOps. And we also verified that everything is good. Now, what's next? Now, at this point of time, I would like to create some environment in Azure portal. So I go to Azure portal. Yeah, you should already have a subscription, an active subscription. If you want to work with Azure portal, an active subscription is mandatory. You might want to go to azure.com and activate your free trial subscription. So I'm going to create now an app service. So go to app services. Now I'm going to create three app services. One app service I would like to use for dev environment, one for QA environment, and one for production environment. So let's say DevOps demo resource group. So here I'll call it as Sandeep Hello World app. Let's say this is dev. So Sandeep Hello World app.dev.azurewebsites.net. That's going to be the URL. And I would like to have a code developed in .NET. You can choose between Windows, Linux, your choice. I'm leaving it as Windows, East US. I'm fine. Standard pricing is good enough. I don't want to get into the details. And I do just review and create. So this is web app created for the dev. The same thing I'm going to do for QA and same thing I'm going to do for production. So three DevOps instances I'm creating now. Three app service instances I'm creating now. One for dev, one for QA, and one for production. It's taking its own time. We'll have to wait. We can't do anything until this form is submitted. Yes, now it is submitted. We get a new screen. Now I can go back and create one more app. This time I'll call it as QA. And same resource group and same app service plan, existing app service plan we can choose now. We don't have to create a new one. This is already existing, which we created for the dev. The same thing we can choose, do review and create. Again, let it complete. See, it's already done. But wait till this window is changed to deployment. The submission is still in progress. Go to resource. Guys, I know some of you are complaining about the video quality, but now I can't change. And I don't even know the procedure, to be honest. This is for production. And everything is good. Yeah, I'll change this also to the same resource group. Same standard pricing. Review and create. Now, for production, I would like to enable staging. The purpose of the staging would be with zero downtime, we should be able to do the deployment. So when we have a new version of the application, first we'll move to the staging and then swap it with the production. So the production app service instance is going to have a slot. That slot I'm going to call it as staging slot. So this is production. Now go to slots. Deployment slots. And I would like to add a new slot. Simple. I would stay staging. So Sandeepsoni app service -prod -staging you see is added to the URL. Clone, I just skip. We don't have any configuration. So this is creating a staging slot in addition to the production slot, which is already there by default. So we have two slots. One is production and the other is staging. You see, automatically production slot has come. And this is the staging slot which I have added now. Two slots, and I'm using the same pricing for both. Next is, I think we are done with the environment creation. All the three I have created. Created an app service by so and so name. I changed the name, of course, but here I have created a staging slot. Now, the most important thing, go back to Azure DevOps. Now, from Azure DevOps, we are supposed to connect to those app services. Now, to connect to those app services, we'll need a service connection. Now, to create a service connection, basically you need some identity. Here you see there is a service connection. Create a new service connection. And we want to connect to Azure Resource Manager. This is what we want for Azure ARM. Now, to begin with, I can probably use automatic. Now, the advantage of using automatic is I don't have to do anything. Everything will be done in the background. But it will be required that on the subscription, you should have owner permission and you should be a global administrator on the Entra ID, which is connected to that particular subscription. Unfortunately, I have both the privilege. I am a owner of my subscription and I am also the global administrator of my Entra ID. But alternatively, in case you are not, what is the solution? So I'll take you through those steps. go to Entra ID, and in Entra ID you are supposed to create a service principal. So go to app registrations, and in app registration you can actually create a new registration and give some name like I've already given here. Just give some name and click on register. That's it. So I've already created here Azure DevOps Service Principal. Now in Azure DevOps Service Principal, we will need certain things which are required for creating a service connection. So I'll select here in Azure DevOps portal, click on next. We want to do it subscription ID, subscription name. We'll come back and give that service principal ID. Service principal ID is the client ID, this one. So copy this and paste here. Then we'll need service principal key. Now to get that service principal key, you should go to certificates and secrets and create a new certificate or new secret you can create. Copy this, copy not ID but value, and that's the service principal key. We'll need the tenant ID. Again, go back to overview and we should find here the tenant ID. Now we need subscription ID and subscription name. Okay, so go and type here subscription. So my subscription ID is this, and subscription name is this. You can also get it from here. Now validate it. Check up if it is working. It will not. Why? Though I created the subscription, I haven't given permission on this particular subscription to the user. So go to IAM, add a role assignment, and I would like to make the user maybe contributor. So privileged administrator, contributor role, I'm going to give to the service principal which we created. What's the name I gave? Azure DevOps. Wow. DevOps Service Principal. Let's verify. Forgot. Go to app registration. Azure DevOps Service Principal. This is the name. Go to subscription. Go here. IAM. Check up if the role is already there for that particular service principal. Not there. So add role assignment, privilege. I want contributor role, and no user or service principal found. Pretty strange. Something is wrong. Why is this giving? All looks good. I just refreshed it so that we should be able to get that role. Oh, strangely, the service principal is not getting listed. Okay, so we'll do one thing, no choice. Maybe some configuration I changed after I created it. So I'll create a new one just to avoid any confusion. Let's say new register. Just to be sure that this at least is listed. First, I'll go here, go to subscription, IAM, add role assignment, contributor, new is listing. Okay, something wrong with the old one. No problem. So we'll change the IDs. Review and assign. During some maintenance, I might have deleted some dependencies of it. So this particular service principal I've made as contributor on this subscription. But obviously, that service principal credentials I need now. New. So take this DevOps service principal new application ID and replace it. Likewise, generate a secret. Add. This is the toughest step and paste it here. Tenant I don't need to change. Now verify it should work. Still failing. Fantastic. Succeeded. It just took a while. Give a name, right? Your subscription name. Maybe the same name what we have used as your training subscription. That's it. You can remove spaces and give some description, grant access to all the pipelines, save and verify. So this is how manually we have to do it. If it is automatic, because you have permission on Entra ID, global administrator, and if you are a contributor or owner on the main subscription, you can definitely use automatic in background. Whatever I have done manually, those steps are going to execute. So now the quality is still bad. Can I get a confirmation? The video quality is still bad. At least for next webinar, I might do something. So I've tried to change the frequency. Streaming software looks to have problem. Okay. So we completed one more step. We created a service principal. Now it's time to create a pipeline. Now to create a pipeline, this is the YAML. I'll first copy and then I'll explain. I don't have patience to type the entire YAML. So I directly copied it. So go to pipelines, create a pipeline, and we can actually take the repo as Azure Repos. Hello World app is the name of project. And you can start with a starter pipeline, almost empty. Replace this with what I have. So let's see on top, what do we have? Trigger. Let's say as soon as the code changes to a branch, we would like to trigger. So then you'll have to give the branch name. Right now it is manual and I'll keep it like that. Now my pipeline is a multi-stage pipeline. And you can see there are 4 stages. Build stage is going to produce a artifact, which I am going to first deploy into dev stage, QA stage, and production stage. One by one, in all of them, I'm supposed to deploy. Now, in build stage, what are we doing? In build stage, we have a first job, build job. And in that job, we have declared 2 variables. The name of the project, I'm saying any project with CS Proj extension. Actually, in this demo, I have only one project. I kept it simple. Then we have got release. Ubuntu latest is the agent machine which is going to be used here. Followed by that, there are 2 tasks. One is for .NET Restore. One is for .NET Build. Whatever is the name of the project, that's being built. And the configuration is release. Once the project is built, I would like to publish. So another .NET task which is publish, and we are publishing to an artifact staging directory. We are doing a release publication to artifact staging directory. Content will be taken from artifact staging directory and publish to a artifact by name drop. So this creates a artifact by name drop. So this is the completion of one stage. So in this stage, we are performing a job, basically a build job, which has restore for downloading NuGet packages, build to check any kind of command line errors and generate binaries, and publish, which is basically responsible for creating a folder whose content can be published to a particular environment for the application. Pipeline artifact. This is where the content will be published into the pipeline. It will be archived with the pipeline and retained for the retention period, which we are not going to get into. Let's say by default, it would be retained for something like 30 days or 90 days. And we would be able to reuse this content later also. Then I have a dev stage, development stage. I'm using a deployment job here. The deployment job has the advantage of supporting approvals. So 3 environments I'm going to create. You see development environment. Later you'll see QA environment. And likewise, last you'll see the production environment. Dev, QA and production environment. I would let directly publish to dev, no need of any approvals. But in QA and production, we would like to have some kind of approval process. What to do for that? We'll come back and see. But right now I'm creating a dev stage which has a development job. Again, a Ubuntu machine is being used to perform a build, and the task is RM web app deployment. Now here, where to deploy? First, I would like to deploy to the dev environment. So go to settings, choose here ARM, choose the subscription. We have created a service connection. That service connection is supposed to display here. So I created Azure training subscription. That's what I created. Where do you want to deploy? Our app services are on Windows. So choose here Windows. Followed by that, here we should get the list of our app services. We want to deploy to dev. No need of virtual application. What do you want to deploy? Now, any zip file. Here we are actually going to get the zip file. Zip deployment. And the same zip file is downloaded by default because it is development job, and that will be deployed to the dev environment. Same thing for QA. Just go here, follow the procedure. Add it. The moment you click on add, these things will get updated. Last time I did not click on add, but this is the name of the app. And this is the name of my service connection. Now something similar I'll have to do for production. Syntax. I have to select here production. Now, an important thing here is we have to put a check mark here because we want to deploy to a slot, the staging slot. Add it. Delete all this. And finally, I would like to add a task for swapping. Say production, resource group, source slot, staging, swap with production, finish. So here we have two tasks. Save this. Just save, don't run. The pipeline is saved in the I haven't run the pipeline yet. That's why no runs. The pipeline is saved in the YAML format. It's here. Azure pipelines.yaml. The same thing what I wrote is here. Important thing is the moment you save here, automatically here we are going to get the environments. Development, production, QA. we want an approval for production. So here you should say security. No, approvals and checks. Approval. Who should approve it? I'll approve myself. I'm putting myself for approval. Likewise, I go back. Same thing I do for QA. Put myself, and we are done. And we don't want any approval for development, so leave it. So automatically these three environments got listed here because of the YAML. DevOps automatically read the YAML and created them. Now run this. Before I run, let's see what is the default output we are getting from all the three app services. Dev. Sandeep, hello world app-dev.azurewebsites.net. Paste it here. We'll get the default page, which is created by Azure. We want to replace this with our project content. So run the pipeline, taking the code from master branch. Stages to run. All the stages we want to run, one by one. So first it will go to build stage. And generate a artifact. Build stage will produce an artifact. Oh, fantastic. Blunder I did. I need a parallelism. Unless I have the parallelism, I will not be able to build this. I wanted to show you how to create an organization, and then the mistake happened. So those who are creating a new organization for the first time will have to actually go to this URL. Fill up the form, your name, your email ID with which you have logged in, entire URL in this format, either this or this format, and you have to click on private and submit. It will take 24 to 48 hours for Microsoft to approve your request for parallel jobs. And once you have the parallel jobs, then only you will be able to build the pipeline. Otherwise, you won't be able to build the pipeline. But yes, that is the only step left. If I continue to run this pipeline, it will go here, perform the job, task, it will execute all, then it will go here, wait for approval, go here, wait for approval. And as it is progressing, stage by stage, it will keep deploying into different environment. The same artifact we are able to deploy into multiple environments. Yes, unfortunately, I did a small mistake. Now, if I have to change the organization, see right now, if I go to the organization settings, you will see here under billing, we have got parallel jobs 0. Paid parallel job 0. Click on parallel jobs. Here also it is 0. And unless we get 1 here, we will not be able to. Only if I submit the form, wait for 48 hours, come back, we'll see 1 year, then this particular pipeline can be built and deployed. But steps are all perfect. Likewise, you can go to, I can show you. I wanted to actually do in this organization. I have a parallel job there. So here I go to a project settings. No, let's go to organization settings. Select the organization settings, billing. Here I have submitted a request for parallel jobs earlier, so I'll have one. I have one parallel job. I actually wanted to use this organization, but unfortunately I ended up using the new organization which I created. But this is how the pipeline can be created. Looks like as it is, the video quality is not good today. So I will definitely redo this entire session, or will once again meet very soon, so that with better video quality and little more details in the steps with proper planning, I'll complete the entire demo. But even otherwise, trust me, it's matter of just completing the pipeline. I have to run and show you. The only change I wanted to make was, once the pipeline is created and everything is fine, I wanted to go to the pipeline, edit, and I wanted to change here to the master branch. The moment I do this, as soon as I save, this file is also saving to the master branch. So as soon as new content comes into the master branch, immediately it will start performing the build. So this is like very, very basic. What I have covered is the basic part of pipeline, though it is a complete pipeline, very real time, but still it is basic. It's not everything. There are a lot of things yet to be done. So yeah, coming Saturday, we are starting a new, not coming, the next week actually. On 20th, how to build an Azure CI/CD pipeline workshop. This is okay. On 20th, we are starting a new course altogether, which will teach entire subject deep dive. Complete deep dive it will teach you. So if you are interested, I would request you to attend the demo session. The first session would be demo. There you will get more information about the entire package what we have. But we are already starting Azure from the coming weekend. So in those interested, please connect with our backend team and take the details to get started with Azure program. Azure DevOps. Two things can be done together as a bundle, and that's what is having huge amount of demand in the industry. Intentionally, the purpose of this particular seminar was to keep it completely technical, but very soon we'll come out with certain facts about Azure DevOps, why it is so popular, and what kind of roles one can have once they complete Azure DevOps formal training, what kind of certifications they can clear, what kind of role they can perform, what are the job opportunities. All these details will come out with one more session very soon. Just subscribe to the channel, and also click on that bell icon so that you know when a new session is released. That's all for today, and my apologies for not able to provide the quality video streaming. I don't know, something wrong with my streaming configuration. I'll have to check what went wrong here and then rectify. So please excuse, and that's all for today. You can, for any kind of inquiries, connect with my backend team or join the WhatsApp group which Deccansoft provides, where you can ask any kind of questions which you may have. That's all for today. Thank you.